Follow the link in the description below to watch the full, uncut version of this video. Disclaimer. The following is a pastiche of CinemaSins' Everything Wrong With series. A pastiche is defined as an artistic work and style that imitates that of another work, artist, or period. This video is best enjoyed when understanding that it is for comedy and entertainment purposes only. Poking fun at the narratives of anime are not proper reviews or critiques and should not be viewed as such. Most of the jokes presented are not indicative of the creator's true sentiments towards the anime in question, as well as those that enjoy the series and those that have worked on it. It is also worth noting that the light novels and any other outside media do not play a role in the contents of this video. This video is purely based on the presentation of the anime, and any other outside sources that explain the reasoning behind some sins is null. With that out of the way, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
Finally, they got tired of running.
What was that all about? Playing the hero by protecting some dim-witted thugs? What, are you a teacher or something?
Season 1 Misaka.
Hey, hero, you ever heard of a real gun?
Railgun?
A super electromagnetic gun. It's an application of Fleming's kinetic momentum theory. You use it to launch projectiles with a little extra oomph. Allow me to demonstrate it for you. Ha!
Not only should Tomo be affected by the force of that being shot mere inches away from his head, you effectively shot that rail gun into an unsuspecting city right behind him. Makoto Misaka is now a war criminal.
Is that what you used to take care of those guys?
Don't be such a moron. There are easier ways to take care of a bunch of level zeros, and I know them all.
Yep. As it turned out, it wasn't her that needed saving. It was those poor saps who were careless enough to get on her bad side.
Ah, yes. The teenage to early 20s thugs who were hitting on a middle school girl are the true victims here. Also, Tomo says they were the ones who needed saving, but earlier he said,
I had to step in and help the poor girl.
Misaka has no problem shooting lightning strong enough to kill a man at Toma.
I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's coincidence, or just plain bad luck. Either way, this really isn't your night.
Tomo survives this.
All right, it's a nice day outside. Maybe airing the mattress out will improve my mood.
Why is the rotten sandwich on the floor instead of the trash? That's not even bad luck, that's on you.
I'm so very hungry. Very, very hungry.
Index.
So, do you mind telling me why you were hanging out on my balcony?
Oh, I fell. What I was actually trying to do was jump from one roof onto the next over.
Huh? But this building is 8 stories high.
I didn't exactly have many options. I was being pursued. Oh. Whoops, I never introduced myself, did I? Well, how rude of me. I'm Index. Nice to meet you.
Index, that's your name? That sounds like an alias to me. You can't tell me you're named after a part of a book.
Tomo ignores the fact that a 14-year-old girl fell from an 8-story building with no scratch on her and instead focuses on the absurdity of her name.
I know there are plenty of unusual powers being used out in the world, but I just can't buy magic. This is Academy City. Supernatural abilities aren't really anything new and different here. Anybody can develop them if they use science, not magic.
You believe in supernatural psychic powers, but the idea of sorcery is too much for you?
Index would be good at CinemaSins.
These are known as the Walking Church. They create an impenetrable protective barrier.
The Walking Church? What does that even mean? You keep throwing out these terms like I'm supposed to understand. Well, sorry, but I don't.
Tomo would also be good at CinemaSins.
Do I have to explain everything? These robes have been sanctified the same way as a church. That means they're as strong as if they were an actual building. So while I'm wearing them, you can take a stab at me with this knife and it won't injure me one bit.
Well, the clothes are at least, but not you. It's a layer of clothing, so wouldn't you still feel the force of the impact? Like, if I shoot a gun at her, the bullet wouldn't go through the robes, but would she still get knocked down from the speed of the bullet? Or would it be like the equivalent of a gentle shove? I get that it's magic and putting a scientific perspective on it is pointless, but damn it, this raises so many questions.
It wards off and absorbs any attack that's made against me, physical or magical.
Oh, I see. From what you're saying, if those robes of yours really do have supernatural powers, then all I would have to do is touch them with my right hand, and that would be that.
Huh. That's assuming that your power actually works the way you say.
All right then, fine with me. When it's over, just remember, you asked me to do this! Okay, that's strange.
Well, what a surprise! Nothing's happening!
Why didn't Toma just touch the cap on Index's head? I'm sure it still has the same effect as the rest of the outfit despite not being connected. Also, underage fan service. And because this is consistent throughout the series, I'm just gonna go ahead and add a scene for each underage fan service scene in the first half of Season 1 here and be done with it. You're welcome. Actually, wait, why wasn't Index wearing any underwear? Nope, forget it. I'm just gonna sit it and not dig into any implications.
What now? Is there anywhere safe you can go after you leave here?
If I stay in one place, they're gonna find me.
But how?
Like I showed you before, my habit is imbued with magic. And because of that magic, they're able to track my location. It'll be okay, though. If I can just make it to the church, they will offer me sanctuary.
Why not just take off the habit and put on some different clothes? I'm sure Toma will lend you his or help buy some for you since he knows you're being hunted. Sure, you'd be vulnerable, but at least you wouldn't be tracked. Also, Academy City has a church? The most scientifically advanced city in all of the world where most of the population are atheists has a church? I don't know why, I just find that really odd.
If you run into any more trouble, you know where you can find me.
Yep, I'll come back when I'm hungry again. What are these things, Agathions?
Agathions? Index plays D&D? Man, they weren't kidding about how deep the lore of this series goes.
All right, everybody, it's time to begin. Welcome to remedial class. I had a little spare time, so I thought I'd write a pop quiz for you to take today. You'll want to do your very best on it. If your grade is poor, you'll be playing a game of no-eyed poker.
Character who looks really young is actually really old cliche.
Our sweet teacher has totally got a thing for you, man. Are you too blind to see it?
Shut up. I don't think giving me a lot of extra work to do means she likes me.
Didn't you hear? She's gonna keep you after school to punish you. You can't tell me that doesn't sound kinda hot.
So you're a pervert and a masochist. A real stand-up guy.
There's a whole wide world of lovely women out there. Why would I want to limit myself?
Algami Pierce.
Teacher, Kamijo's watching the girls' tennis team instead of paying attention to you.
Oh, grow up. You're in your 40s and a teacher at that. A student not paying attention should be nothing new.
The cleaning robots? What now? There shouldn't be anything to clean in front of my place. Oh. That's just my luck. I should have known. Hey, Index. What are you doing out here? You can't sleep there. No way. This looks like blood.
Did the cleaning robots not have an alarm system if they were to find a dead body or at the very least an injured one? Because those two were basically poking her with a stick until Toma came.
What happened? Why are you here? Who did this to you?
Oh, that was us, as in sorcerers.
Is it necessary as a secret organization? Why are you telling him this? Index I somewhat get since he fed her and she's kinda immature, but you just walked right up to him admitting not only that you were responsible for hurting her, but you're also part of a secret organization that ordered you to do this. Why not just pretend to be a bystander and tell Toma to get help to distract him? It probably wouldn't have worked, but at least it's better than just admitting the crime.
And it looks like they've done a really ugly number on her again.
But why?
First, ask what her reason was for returning. Perhaps she came back here because she left something behind. She was wearing a hood yesterday. Now, where could that have gone, I wonder?
They tracked the magical power of the hood back to my place. How could she be so foolish?
Oh, calm down. There's no need to look at me like I'm some kind of a monster.
I don't know, man. Taunting someone after finding their friend severely injured that you partially played a part in would label you as a monster to some degree.
It's so strong. Will my power work against something like this? I know it can cancel out supernatural Esper powers. But this... I've never seen anything like it before. Who knows what will happen?
Here, I've brought a little party gift for you.
Not only is Toma kinda wrong, since the idea of someone who can produce waves of fire doesn't sound too out of the ordinary for an Esper, how is nobody in this building hearing any of this? Damn you! That wall of fire hit Toma before he could even put his hand out like that. Also, this is the only time we ever see a Magic Breaker work like this.
That is correct. I am the Library of Grimoires belonging to Necessarius, also known as the Zeroth Parish of the English Puritan Church. My formal name is Index Librorum Prohibitorum, but if you prefer, you may shorten that and refer to me merely as Index. I am currently invoking an automatic program known as John's Pen.
Okay, do you actually have a problem with playing the villain here? Because there was no hesitation in that stomp.
Ashes to ashes. And dust to dust. Prepare for the wrath of Squeamish Bloodroot!
Toma not only survives this, but he doesn't have a single burn mark on him afterwards. Really? Innocentius just let him pass right by it? I know it's basically a mindless monster, but I'm pretty sure it understands to attack an approaching enemy. Also, Toma just dived headfirst into a wall of fire and didn't even come out with any sign of damage. Oh, bull I could somewhat believe him surviving the attacks from Isekan style because he could have used a Magic Breaker on them. But that was a 6-story drop. You should either be dead or have so many broken bones in your body that you wouldn't be able to move at all, which he was perfectly able to do. Why did it take this long for the sprinklers to come on?
Kill him. This doesn't make sense. My runes should still be working at full
The
strength.
ink. Of course the paper didn't dissolve. The ink's your problem. It tends to run when it gets wet.
This is a clever plan, but the ink shouldn't dissolve that quickly, especially if it's on paper. It takes about 10 to 15 hours for ink to completely dissolve when written on paper. The only way that they could have dissolved that quickly was if Style just written the ink on them. And if he did, then he completely deserved to fail, no more than he already does.
And dust to dust! I call on the power of Squeamish Bloodroot!
All right, Index. I've made my decision. I don't want to be dragged into hell. So that leaves me one choice. I'll free you from its clutches, using this!
Running start or not, Toma should not be able to flip Style over like that from a single punch. There is not a single ambulance here, despite the fact that a student dorm caught on fire.
Oh, finally! I've been looking for you everywhere. I knew there was no way you were kept late for remedial class, and sure enough, here you are, out enjoying all the pleasures the night has to offer.
Kuroko Shirai.
That should keep them from using it as some kind of magical tracking device.
How come the captain didn't tear apart like her clothes did?
It would be my rotten luck that she's already gone to sleep. I guess I'll have to be more aggressive. Here goes. Oh!
Toma Kamijo, a man who received no fatal injuries after falling off the 6th floor of an 8-story building while he was in pain after kicking a door.
Good. All right, Index. It's settled. Is there anything else I can do to help you?
No, there is not. Unfortunately, under the circumstances, the only option is for you to vacate this place entirely. Your presence will cause interference. If you remain, your power will cancel the recovery magic.
Did I hear her right? Did the sister really say something about recovery magic?
She did. Please, take good care of her.
Kamajo! I have a phone right there!
Did you not hear Index explain that Toma couldn't be in the room? You're sitting right next to her and you heard her say she's gonna use magic. Plus she's not even whispering, she's just talking in her normal voice.
looks like you've built a miniature of the room.
The materials used are irrelevant. What is important is to recreate the placement of the items as they appear in the room.
Not really. The Gekkoudo are in the wrong spots, and I can't even tell what this book and whatever this is are meant to represent, judging by the layout of the room.
Explain this. Miss Kamoy is an Academy City teacher. She's a bona fide beer-drinking, chain-smoking adult. How is it that her PJs even fit you?
Not related to what he's saying, but what was Toma doing during all of that?
Whatever's going on, it seems like you've gotten in over your head, Kamajo. How can I stand back and do nothing when one of my students is in danger?
If you were a stranger, I wouldn't hesitate to involve you in this. But you've already done so much to help. I don't want you to get hurt.
That may have been a fancy little speech, but I can't just leave it at that. You aren't going to get out of this that easily, you know.
Where are you going?
I'm giving you time to think. There are a few groceries I need from the supermarket. You are going to stay here. I expect you to give serious consideration to what you're going to tell me. I'll be gone for a bit. You should have more than enough time.
Eventually, Miss Komoe returned from her shopping. She invited us to stay at her place, and she didn't say a word about our earlier conversation. Maybe she got distracted with her errands and forgot about it. Or maybe she just pretended to forget. I wasn't about to ask.
So, one of your students comes to your apartment late at night, completely exhausted and, well, may not look at it, but he should, potentially injured, all while carrying a nun on his back. He then forces himself into your home and reveals that that nun is heavily injured and near death. Suddenly, that nun starts glowing and spouts religious nonsense and has you do a ritual to summon an angel that turns out to work since she's now completely healed. Now, as you said before...
And now that I know about it, it is my duty as a faculty member and a responsible adult to report it to the authorities.
Which is what you should do as a teacher in this situation. But you decided to ignore it and not say or ask anything because your student made you blush. That's it. No, that's it! Tsukuyomi Kamoe is the most irresponsible teacher in all of Tuaru, and that includes Yomikawa.
There used to be only one Church of the Cross. Do you know why there are so many divisions of it now?
Let me think.
People began to mix their politics with religion. When that happened, the church fractured into separate factions, each one wanting to follow a different path, even though they all still shared a common god.
Man, good thing anime is fictional, not based on real events.
Cheer up. Sorcerers are no match for me. Not while I've got this right hand.
Except, didn't you say they're making you take remedial classes at school?
Did I say that?
You certainly did.
Well, forget about it. It doesn't matter.
If it doesn't matter, then why did you say anything about it in the first place? Was that just an excuse? Did you want to get away from me? Am I cramping your style? Well, are you going to answer me?
You know, my original sin for this was that there wasn't enough evidence at the time for Toma to fully believe her since there didn't seem to be a threat. But then I thought that that could be the reason why Toma is blushing and refusing to answer her, since he could have just used that as an excuse to get her out of his dorm. But then I remember that immediately after saying he had remedial class, he not only offered her to stay in his dorm, but really was late to his class. Not to mention, Index declined his offer and walked out on him willingly. So not only is there no reason for Index to bite Toma, but there is also no reason for Toma to be so embarrassed.
I've been looking into the identity of that boy she's got with her.
Good. Did you find anything out about his hand?
Whatever he is, he certainly doesn't appear to be an Esper. Or a sorcerer.
Where did Kansaki learn this? And how? Also, where was she during Styles' fight with Toma? Hell, he said that she was the one who injured Index. You telling me she didn't go over to check if she was okay? Why just send Style?
Well, because the first memory I have is of being here. I don't really know much about what life is like in England.
I was wondering how you seem to fit in so easily here.
I don't think you understand what I mean. I'm not from here. I'm European. I was born in England, London, actually. Apparently, I was raised in St. George's Cathedral. I only arrived in Japan about a year ago, or so I'm told anyway.
Why would necessarily station Index in Japan? Wouldn't it make more sense to keep her as close to them as possible?
Index? What's with the puppy dog eyes? I was just joking around with you. Okay? Just great. I'm covered in bite marks and she's off in the city somewhere all alone.
Wait, she just ran off? You're being hunted, you idiot! You two need to stick together even if you are pissed at him!
That's weird. There's no one here. What's happening?
Runes. I engraved them around this spot so we could have a little privacy.
So how does this work exactly? Do you put the runes up and it just prevents outsiders from walking in? What about the people who are already there? Not to mention, when Tomo walked through the crosswalk, it was almost as if the spell just activated. Or was it more like a trap? Because in that case, were you just waiting for Tomo to randomly walk into this section of the city? How did you know he walked through here?
Okay, Kamajo, I'm heading out now. I won't be back until late, so you're in charge. Be a good boy and keep an eye on things here for me, all right?
What was the point of watching Kamoe go down the stairs?
You people are unbelievable. Index is paying the price for your incompetence. I thought you guys knew sorcery. Can't you do anything with your magic to help her? She's got 103,000 books in her head. Maybe one of those has the answer.
The church can't allow that.
Index turning on them is their greatest fear.
Yeah, and you guys are doing such a great job at preventing that.
Fine. Then why not try to get to them with your own magic?
The church is also very concerned about sorcerers outside of Necessarius gaining access to the books.
He's not saying outside sorcerers, he's saying one of your sorcerers. Why not look for sorcerers inside Necessarius?
Hi. Is someone there?
Research on photographic memory? Yes, I'm familiar with it. What's the problem? Can you describe the issue in detail for me? Magic? Seriously? What do you think you're doing, making a prank call at this hour?
Why would you tell her about magic? And think that she'd believe you? Hell, you didn't believe magic at first. Tomo's body has completely different postures in these two shots.
Index is a funny name. It doesn't sound like something a girl would be called. Maybe you're talking about a pet I had. Gotcha! Hook, line, and sinker. What, did I hurt your feelings by comparing you to an animal? Be a little adventurous. We could get you a nice collar. Come on, it'll be fun. Would you rather be a dog or a cat? I'm guessing cat.
You asshole! That'd be the most insensitive and hurtful response I've ever heard! And yes, I know he did lose his memories and he's lying to Index to make her not worry about his condition, but that had to be the worst possible way to go about it. You deserved those bites!
So, I guess one memory was left to me after all, huh?
Your memories are dead. They were destroyed with your brain cells. All past information was blasted irreversibly out of your brain. So then, where do you think this remembered feeling is coming from? Where is it stored?
Well, Doctor, that should be obvious. From my heart. Wouldn't you agree?
No.
But sir, I thought the idea was to avoid using espers at all.
That won't be an issue. He's a level 0 with no abilities to speak of. He has no access to privileged information, so using him will not risk a security breach. Yet he will be helpful in dealing with our sorcerer friend.
Basically, you brought me back here to team up with the boy.
He does not have the brains to understand your magic, nor does he possess the power to recreate it.
Alistair is addicted to Toma.
Hey, Toma! Are you even paying attention to me? I was explaining that as a nun, I live a life of austerity. Therefore, I am forbidden from indulging in a tasty treat like ice cream.
I guess that settles it then. I wouldn't want you to break a rule or anything.
Of course, while all nuns are told to abstain, I am still a novice, so surely they can't expect me to exhibit perfect behavior all the time. Certain allowances must be made for the younger sisters. For instance, should a scoop of ice cream accidentally fall into my mouth, surely no one would expect me to abstain from eating it. What choice would I have?
Well, you could always spit it out. Not exactly sanitary, but you wouldn't want to break that austerity of yours now, would you?
Toma! We're over here!
Wow. Found a booth.
Why would Index choose a seat that is clearly still occupied?
Excuse me. You ate yourself to ruin? How?
The
hamburgers were only 100 yen each. And on top of that, I had a bunch of coupons to use. Before I knew it, I'd ordered 30 of them.
How are you able to down 30 hamburgers and only come out with a stomach ache? I can barely believe Index is able to do that. You should be having a heart attack.
Oh, I see. The priestesses in this town like their publicity.
You're wrong. I'm not a priestess.
Huh? Look at the way you're dressed. It's classic priestess.
That's too bad. I am a magician.
If you're not a priestess, then why do you wear the garbs? If you're trying to pass off as a magician, then why not dress as, I don't know, a witch? And again, it's not the weirdest thing a magician has worn.
All right, young lady, give it up. What are you hiding in there?
I'm not hiding anything at all. Really. I swear by our Father who art in heaven, on my honor as a sister, I am not lying to you, Toma.
While it is hard to tell the time it took for them to get to the dorm, why is it only now that Sphinx wants to get out of Index's robes? You're telling me a stray cat was completely calm while someone carried it around?
Do you have a thing for Index?
What? Of all the stupid things to ask? No, she's just someone I look out for, that's it. She's my friend, of course I care about her.
Clearly.
I'm guessing you don't know very much about alchemists, though, do you?
Well, supposedly they turn lead into gold. And they brew elixirs of immortality and stuff too, right?
Yeah, that about covers it. Except for one more important thing. Throughout history, alchemists have shared one ultimate goal.
Huh?
They all seek the power to manipulate reality.
What's that mean?
Imagine if you could take anything you could dream up in your head, anything at all, and make it reality. It's like that.
Well, yes and no. Their main goals were the creation of, as Toma said, the elixir of life and the Philosopher's Stone. Yeah, that could be seen as manipulating reality, but not in the way that you put it.
That's too bad. I need your help. And in order to help, you'll need to know ahead of time what Deep Blood looks like so you'll recognize her. Here. To be honest, I don't have an especially good memory for faces. Her name is Isahimagami.
How convenient.
In my hand, a gun will appear. It will be loaded with magic bullets, any one of which may carry your death inside it. The bullets will travel faster than the human eye can see. The shooting will now commence. Did you think I'd let you die so easily? I'd like to see you squirm a bit longer.
Villain decides to torture the hero instead of killing them, cliche.
Into the air, you meddling sorcerer!
Style, no!
I'm wondering if there might be limitations to your power.
Your skin will be torn from your body!
Ew, 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 ew!
He didn't do it because he didn't believe he could.
I'll destroy you with a sword instead.
He didn't believe, so he couldn't say the words.
Obviously. The source of your self-assurance is your right hand, which is also the only weapon you have.
I think I understand now.
It's quite clear that my first course of action must be chopping off your right arm.
His power to manipulate reality with words isn't absolute. It can be undermined.
I understand that his power is flawed because of his doubts and anxieties, but he's still manipulating reality so long as he believes that he can do it. I feel like we're undermining just how powerful Izzard actually is. Wait, does this mean he was the precursor to a magic god?
This cannot be! My Ars Magna is failing me when I need it most! Stop it! Don't think that! You cannot think that!
How? Someone didn't even touch you. If it's because Izzard's doubts fixed him, then Style got really lucky there.
No, your power is making what you believe into reality. And now that I know that, I will crush you!
It's nothing. Just the manifestation of the desperate terror Areolas felt at the time.
What happened to the alchemist anyway?
Well, for starters, he's lost all of his memories. And the ability to use magic. I didn't want his death on my conscience. So I changed his appearance and turned him loose outside.
Not only is that real convenient that the dragon didn't just straight up kill him, why did you let him loose? Yeah, he doesn't remember anything, he doesn't have any powers, but he still betrayed the church, took an entire school hostage, killed Himagami, and skinned you alive.
Why are you running like a scared little girl?
That's sexist.
You need to pull your weight. I think you should start by carrying some of these drinks. This is your portion of the total haul.
You realize by accepting these, I'm graduating from innocent bystander to accomplice. That's not a role I want to take on. Ow!
Hey, if you don't want this one, I'll take it off your hands.
Wait, you said you were giving him a portion, but you gave him the entire stack. Unless the entire stack was his portion, you're holding onto your half. And if that's the case, where are you carrying them?
Is that you, Sissy? Oh, it is you. I thought I was seeing things for a second. It didn't make sense for you to be in a remedial class, but it was all just a pretense for this, huh?
Kuroko isn't trying to dropkick Toma in this scene.
Please. Are you kidding me? You really think this Lauren is my boyfriend? No, of course not. I know you'd have better taste than that.
Kuroko is addicted to Toma, everyone. Everyone is addicted to Toma. Where did that ball come from?
This is Micah. My classmate Tsuchimikado is her stepbrother. Apparently, she's in training to become a maid.
How are you not dizzy from doing that?
Maid school must be rough, huh? You don't get summers off, right?
According to our school motto, a successful maid doesn't need to take time off for herself.
Jesus, what kind of child labor law defying school do you go to?
What is that? Some kind of fern?
It's an herb called sage. It's medicinal. I'm going to burn it, and the smoke it produces will make the fleas go away and leave Sphinx alone.
Medicinal. Sure. Sounds more like a recipe for stewed cat to me.
Well, no, she said she's gonna burn it and use the smoke to ward off the fleas, not put it into soup. Sphinx would just need to be near the smoke for it to work. Oh, I'm not justifying it, this is a terrible idea.
This is a magic spray for removing fleas.
A magic spray? Really?
You simply aim the spray at the fleas and it eradicates them.
You're more likely to eradicate the cat. That's a can of high-strength pesticide.
Index, I understand. Her method is convoluted enough for it to be somewhat believable, but Himegami should not be this ignorant to use pesticide on a living creature. They have warnings on those things. Come to think of it, why is Himegami still in Academy City? I thought the church took her in.
You simply wish to remove the fleas without using a toxic substance, is that correct? Misaka asks for confirmation.
I think that about covers it. Do you have a plan?
Yes, I do. Watch this, Misaka instructs. I used a specific frequency to exterminate only the fleas, Misaka reports helpfully.
Well, yeah, but you still hurt the cat. Shot lightning at it, for God's sake.
What, Kamajo? Are you and Miss Misaka acquaintances?
No. Well, not really. Oh, hey! You finishing remedial lessons also?
Toma seems surprisingly happy to see Misaka despite just saying that they weren't even acquaintances.
Huh? Ow! Jeez, what the hell was that for?
Forget it, I was just rambling.
Misaka smacked Toma on the head with no reason or explanation.
That's Mikoto, isn't it? It's the younger sister. Man, if you lose the goggles, there's no way to tell them apart.
Not only did you just see Mikoto walk in the other direction, but you can tell some differences without the goggles. The cold dead eyes, the emotionless tone, the underwear, and especially her style of speech.
It all looks delicious.
Indeed.
Since you dropped by uninvited, perhaps you would like to serve.
I originally thought that Himegami was staying with Komoe until she could transfer into a student dorm, but if Komoe says that she showed up uninvited, then where has she been staying this entire time? Also, and I'll probably get into it in the next video, but how does Himegami even know Komoe?
Hold on. I think I recognize your voice from somewhere. Ah! It's you! You're the boy Sissy had a clandestine meeting with! Explain yourself. What do you want with her?
Oh, it's nothing really that important.
If it's not important, then why did you make the trip all the way down here?
You know what? If she's not there, never mind.
At this point, Sissy has not returned home. If you need to see her so badly that you showed up here, why don't you come in and wait?
Kuroko let Toma in pretty easily, despite both A, being immediately suspicious of him and not really liking him to begin with, and B, him giving no explanation for why he's there in the first place.
What are you doing on somebody else's bed? Are you some kind of pervert?
You're here at an all-girls dorm and you call me a pervert? Everyone has their own personal preferences. They may seem strange to other people, but that doesn't make them wrong or perverted.
Good words,
Come
Kuroko.
on, like you never secretly pressed your lips to your crush's picture? Or stole the seat from her bicycle to caress?
And never mind. Okay, this has bothered me every time I look at this shot. Why are Kuroko and Misaka's beds in the dead center of their room? Normally they would have them on the side of the wall.
Is that her out there?
Whoa, Kuroko, you okay there?
The propellers are turning, but there isn't any wind tonight. The turning of the propellers is usually used to generate electricity. Then conversely, couldn't electricity be used to make the propellers turn? There are electromagnetic waves constantly emanating from her. So if I follow the moving propellers, then...
No, that's impossible. The electromagnetic waves Misaka unconsciously produces are way too small to be detected by humans, let alone multiple wind propellers. The only way for that to work is if she was constantly producing raw electricity and came into contact with the propellers herself, which I highly doubt she did. Even then, that doesn't guarantee that they'll turn. If anything, it'll cause them to short circuit and stop working.
Paralysis is caused when these signals cannot be sent, but if we had the power to control bioelectricity, we might be able to cure it.
By making use of your particular ability, we could help many thousands of people.
Makoto, did you not learn Stranger Danger? Also, where are your parents?
An analysis of tree diagram calculations has been conducted. The optimal plan would involve creating 128 different battlefields upon which Railgun would be killed. After that number of victories, Accelerator would then advance to level 6. Since that number of Railguns cannot be produced, a different plan has been developed. This plan will involve the mass production of Railgun's level 5 sisters. The numbers have been adjusted. It has been determined that 20,000 different battlefields and a corresponding number of sister deaths will be needed to produce the desired results. Essentially, that means your younger sisters were created so they could be killed as part of an experiment to produce a level 6.
How does an Esper level up? What, does it increase every time you use your powers in a fight? I thought your increase in power is determined by your own scientific knowledge of that ability. And for that matter, how did Misaka level up if she started as a level 1? They say she worked her way up, but it's never explained how she did it.
You know, they actually used tree diagram to determine exactly how a fight between Accelerator and me would play out. The computer calculated that I would die after 185 moves. But you see, if I was to be unceremoniously beaten after the very first move, well, faced with that data, surely the researchers would have to conclude that something was wrong with the original programming.
Well, they could always chalk it up to you committing suicide since that's what you're doing. Basically death by cop, but with espers. Plus, that would depend on Accelerator not torturing you before finishing you off. Not to mention, okay, I'm gonna break my own rule here real quick, so bear with me, whether or not the sisters themselves will get involved to prevent you two from fighting.
Okay, you've got guts.
Why did that cause an explosion? It looks like all he did was increase the momentum and impact of the pebble. Sure, it caused a lot of damage, but it wouldn't warrant an explosion. Tomo survived that. No, seriously, that was almost dead center. How the hell did he dodge all of those?
Oh, hey, tell me something. Have you ever heard of a certain phenomenon known as dust explosion? They can be quite devastating.
Oh, wow, he's at the center of a dust explosion. No way he could have survived that, and he's perfectly fine in the next episode. Great.
Your turn now!
My right hand is working.
Ew.
Uh-oh.
If you knew he was coming for you mid-air, why didn't you just dodge out of the way? Also, just this.
Damn you, you little punk!
How is a wind turbine not short-circuited from all this electricity? And for that matter, you're telling me no one witnessed a bunch of Misaka's messing with the turbines and got a little suspicious?
I'll kill you!
You think I'm going to let you?
You're way out of your league here, little girl, and you know it. If I want to do something, you can't stop me. Visual acuity can only be measured up to 20/20, right? My situation's like that. Level 5 is the highest rank an Esper can attain in a...
I thought you were gonna protect your sister. Why are you letting him walk right past you?
Misaka's bodies are clones. They were originally created by using sister cells. Following creation, our bodies have been stimulated for rapid growth by the administration of certain drugs, Misaka continues. By their very nature, cellular clones have a shorter lifespan than normal humans. Because of rapid growth, ours have been cut even shorter than that. Does that make sense, Misaka asks? So it is necessary for the research facility to take us in temporarily and adjust us each individually. Well, that's all Misaka says. I'll leave now.
Hey, wait a second. This adjusting stuff, is it a cure?
Okay, not a sin, but what Emoto's saying here is that at some point the sisters are going to die soon due to their rapid growth, even if it is held back. Komachi, can we get an arc of that? Because that sounds really interesting depending on how he handles it. Then again, the dude's too afraid to kill off any major characters besides that one, so maybe it wouldn't be that good.
Oh, thank you.
I picked out the most expensive ones the department store had. From the price, I'm guessing those are some pretty good cookies.
Don't people always say homemade cookies are the most tasty?
Oh, is that so? Can you seriously picture me baking cookies?
No, never. I imagine if you tried to, you'd make a horrible mess of the kitchen and the cookies would come out all misshapen and disgusting. That's what you're saying, right?
Toma's addicted to Misaka. Also, if you're gonna buy cookies, why would you get them from the department store? I'm sure a sweet shop would have better ones.
Hey, you know what? If you had never offered them your DNA map, not a single one of the sisters would have ever existed in the first place.
I meant to bring this up earlier, but if the sisters were born from Misaka's DNA, then wouldn't she technically be their mother? Wait, is that because Suzu a gilf? Aw, that's cute. So what happened to the other 9,969 sisters? Are they just roaming Academy City? And if that's the case, wouldn't somebody notice their existence? Like if Misaka was taking a class one day and the principal or dorm manager gets a report that she's been spotted at multiple locations during that time? And before anyone says that they were distributed around the world, not only is that not stated in the anime until like technically season 3, it still doesn't erase the possibility of that scenario happening while also being on a global scale. Also, isn't that kind of risky for Academy City? They're basically giving away one of their most highly confidential experiments for the rest of the world to use and study. You're telling me not a single country tried to use the sisters as a way to study cloning themselves? Or hell, try to develop their own espers using them?
Who's this smoldery-looking two-toned boy? You're like super hot. I'm crazy psyched to train with a total babe like you.